Hi, this is Dr. Jason O'Connor from O'Connor Chiropractic. Today I want to be talking about specifically men's health and how chiropractic has a role in that and how we can help. And first of all, I just want to start with men are the kind of worst for reporting problems. I find the most chronic issues do tend to be with men because they tend to leave things a lot longer and often things are going to be okay, kind of bury the head in the sand a little bit. And it's really interesting just with the type of illnesses men suffer from most really and get sick from. So, number one is like heart disease. Another big one is prostate cancer. Now, both of these are conditions that actually take a long time to develop. Unfortunately, they don't actually give that many symptoms. And this can be very similar to back pain, which I'm going to come on to in a moment. But yeah, 64% of people with heart disease, for instance, the first symptom they get is actually death. So, if you ask them 10 minutes before, how would you feel? I feel fine. But then, sudden heart attack. And obviously afterwards, when they open them up and look what's gone on, they can see the heart's enlarged, the arteries are all clogged up. And it's just understanding that that's a process that's happened over years, probably decades. It's not one fatty meal the night before that caused it. And then similarly, like with prostate cancer, it's a type of condition that develops over a long period and gives quite subtle symptoms, just get that little bit worse. And I think the average tumour has been there 7 years before it's discovered. And then why am I telling you all this bad news is the point I'm trying to make is one of the biggest things that are kind of damaging to our health, we often never feel until it's too late. So a lot of things with back issues, back problems, they're exactly the same. So a bit like tooth decay, another example, is often by the time you feel a toothache, there's a hole, there's a cavity. So with back pain, especially when I speak to a lot of men, is they'll say, it's not too bad, I'll every now and again it tightens up or it spasms or I get a bit of sciatica and I take a few painkillers, rest it for a bit and it's fine. And actually these are the warning signals that have been coming on that things are deteriorating, things are getting worse. And people think, it's not too bad, just man up, a bit of back pain. But the signs and symptoms of back pain are leading to bigger issues down the line. So as I talk to all the time, every single function in your body is controlled by what? Your brain. And how does it do that? Through the messages, the signals coming down through your spinal cord. And the spine, the main role of that is armour to protect that. But the problem is if that breaks down, degenerates, what that actually does, that starts to compress these nerves, distorts the message, the signals, and it massively affects our overall health. Now the challenge, not just men, but us as humans now, the biggest challenge we've got is day-to-day life. So, we're genetically designed to be hunter-gatherers. So the men especially, what we were doing, mainly the hunting. So we'd go out for the day with the guys, go hunting, fart, burp, tell a few jokes, and we'd come back, with the food. And that's what we did for thousands of years. And it's interesting when we look at the human genome, they did a lot of research and they found the human genome has changed by 0.02% in 40,000 years. So what that does mean for us is like you're genetically coded to be, bending, twisting, lifting, running around, sprinting, doing all these things every single day. Whereas the majority of us now actually get up in the morning, drive to work for an hour, sit at a desk 6-7 hours, drive back home, sit on the sofa, pop Netflix on, maybe open a bottle of wine. Hopefully that doesn't sound too familiar, but that day in, day out of that really starts to cause chronic stress in all our body, but especially the spine because of all the sitting, the compression, the weakness. And obviously as men, when we're putting on weight, we tend to put it on our tummy, so we get these beer bellies. And that actually causes like an increased lordosis into the lumbar spine. So all the weight to the front, our back arches, and that really compresses that lower lumbar spine. And again, where do the nerves go? At the base of the spine. So obviously people think of back pain, sciatica, which is absolutely correct. But also most of those nerves are supplying everything in the pelvis. things like bladder, prostate, reproductive organs, intestines, colon. So again, it can have a massive impact on those organs. And it's amazing. I see these adverts all the time now on the TV. I think Newman's one of them, and it's about impotency, sexual dysfunction, all these different things, and nothing's really about take this quick pill. Nothing's about, well, why is it occurring? Why is it on a massive increase? And I really think that there's multiple factors, stress, fitness, poor diet, smoking, alcohol, all those things. But I think the spinal health has a huge effect, because again, if the wiring to all those organs is getting compressed, do you think that's going to affect the control of those organs? So it's amazing how many men I see who come in with back pain. Usually the wife's booked them in, but they're coming with back pain, and we have a look and we find that they may have issues with the prostate. They maybe go to the toilet several times. They've got this classic beer belly, and what we focus on is getting them healthy, getting them moving again. Obviously getting the pain levels down, but most importantly, getting that function back into the spine, and getting them back doing the things that they should be doing. Because again, you don't be avoiding things. People stop doing sport, avoiding lifting their children, grandchildren, all these types of things. Well, I can't do any heavy lifting. And actually, we don't want to be doing that. We want you living more. We don't be avoiding those things. I think as men, we're quite proud that we want to be physically strong and active, and we feel ourselves as the protectors of the family. And I think certainly when we lose our fitness, our health, our strength, that can really affect our mental health as well. And I think that's a big thing that, again, men are not too great on. And there's a big thing recently about awareness of mental health in men, because again, the high suicide rates. And it's just looking for help, asking for help. And it's just understanding, here at O'Connor Chiropractic, we're a family wellness centre, and we're here to provide, help, support, and look at you as an individual and seeing where your challenges are, and everyone's kind of different. But I do see a lot of common problems, and so we can help you. First of all, get you out of pain, get you back moving, giving you advice on nutrition, getting you exercising, what are the right type of exercise as well. So many people get to the stage where they think, all right, I've got to lose weight, they get really motivated, and they go out and start running, for instance. And then straight away, say we're talking about the spine, they're sitting all day, it's compressed, inflamed, and then they start, and they're overweight, all the weight's at the front, they start running, knees are getting jarred, hips, backs getting compressed. So often that's one of the worst things to do. So we try to give you advice and guide you on where do we start, and often it's just getting things moving better, starting with flexibility, things like core work, Pilates, yoga, they're ideal, and then low impact type exercise. So starting off with walking, live in a lovely area in Harrogate, so getting out to the countryside, get some hills in, and then trying to multitask, because we're all short of time. So so crucial, spending good quality family time. So why not kill two birds in one stone? So go out with the family, take the kids, the wife, go together, and then you're doing good things for your health and also spending good time with your family. I always say, people say, I haven't got time to fit it all in, I haven't got time to get to the gym, I haven't got time to go see the chiropractor. But if you don't find time to invest in your health, and that's what is visiting the clinic, is it's not an expense or in terms of time or money, but it's an investment in you and your health. And the healthier you are, the better you are as a father, a husband, a work colleague. So it impacts everyone around you as well. So they say, if you don't find time to be healthy, you're better finding time to be sick. So these are the things that we're really trying to focus on and help you make that transition. And it's just an understanding there's no quick fix. I hate that word, health hack. There isn't a quick hack to it. This is a process. And trying to do those quick fixes often leads to bigger problems down the line. And exactly the same with, I feel, taking painkillers, anti-inflammatories, opiates. They might give you short-term pain relief, but if you've got a functional mechanical problem with your spine, I've never seen a pill straighten a crooked spine. And we know that the long-term effects of taking those drugs on the liver, the kidneys, the stomach. So we really want to find a long-term solution for you. That's one of the big things we look at. Again, I mentioned mental health, and people think, well, what's chiropractic got to do with that? Now, what we know is when the spine is out of alignment, when we are sitting at desks all the time, when we're in this flex posture, it puts a lot of strain on the upper part of the neck. Now, at the upper parts of the neck, a lot of the cranial nerves, so things like the optic nerve, olfactory, vestibular coccygeus in the ear, so you've probably heard a few of those nerves. So as well as things like headaches, migraines, balance issues, at the top of the neck, also a lot of nerves regulate things like heart rate, blood pressure, and there's a particular set of nerves that affect something called the pituitary gland, and the pituitary gland is what they call the master gland of the body, and that kind of releases hormones which then have a knock-on effect, like a cascade effect throughout the body. So one of the main thing that the pituitary gland releases cortisol. So you've probably heard of cortisol, the stress hormone, and when we're producing a lot of that, causes an increase in things like adrenaline, insulin, and affects our cholesterol levels. So again, we talk about heart disease, high cholesterol. It's really interesting, again, going back to hunter-gatherers, when we were under stress, the main stress we had was something attacking us. Either we were trying to kill something or somebody trying to kill us. And it wasn't very often, but that was the main stress. Now, when that occurred, we had this massive dump of cortisol, which affected adrenaline, which gives you that fight or flight. So your heart rate goes up, blood pressure goes up, and you're getting ready for kind of either running away or battle. And it's really important it does that. Also, it releases things like insulin. So insulin is really important because it releases like glucose, frees up the glucose. That's like your rocket fuel that you need. Now, another thing that happens is it changes blood cholesterol. So you've heard of like good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. There's no such thing. There's appropriate cholesterol for the situation. So there's HDL you've heard of, and maybe LDL and HDL, high density, and the low density, high density seen as the bad, low density, the good. So again, it's not really good or bad, it's like appropriate. So one is bigger than the other. That's what you need to kind of think about. So when you get the bigger cholesterol, what it works on is it works to thicken the blood. Now, a lot of people then associate with what? Heart disease, clogging the arteries, heart attack. But actually, if you think, well, what is the benefits of that? Why would the body do that? Why would it switch? Why would the liver then change your cholesterol levels? Well, you think about it, if you're in that fight or flight state and you're being attacked or you're running after something, there's a high chance you're going to get injured and cut. So if you get cut, if your blood's thinner, what's going to happen? Yeah, you're going to bleed out and you could die. So how clever is the human body that it thinks, okay, let's thicken the blood so if we do get injured, it'll clot quicker and then we don't die. So that's amazing. In a split second, the central nervous system is doing that, and that's reacting through those nerves, through the spine, through the nerves, to create those changes in the body. Now, unfortunately, the kind of stress that we deal with, so like you say, probably we said driving to work in the morning, traffic, emails and stress at work, financial stress, all these things that are there day in, day out. So we're getting this inappropriate stress response that's not just a short term, but it's actually there for hours, days, weeks, months, which then leads to this chronic illness. Now, often when we see this and when people present to us in the clinic, we see this in their posture. So they're in this flex posture. So when we feel stressed or threatened, you see this in all mammals, see a cat or a dog hunch up, we flex. So again, we can see if someone's been chronically stressed from their posture. Now, if they're in this flex position, what does it do? It compresses and irritates the neck. This is shown to agitate those nerves. And then we see that we get an increased nerve response, which can cause these nerves to overfire. So it's a bit of a catch-22 where one's kind of propelling the next thing. Now, what happens when you get an adjustment and see people walk out and they say, immediately, gosh, I just feel better, I feel more relaxed, feel lighter, feel looser. And what's actually happening, it's a hormonal change. When we do an adjustment and we open up someone's posture, that takes stress off these nerves and almost acts like a reset. And what the research shows is immediately cortisol levels start to drop, which then means the stress hormones, the adrenaline, all these other hormones, insulin, cholesterol levels start to go to your not healthy but more appropriate for our environment. So the blood starts to get less thicker with this high level of cholesterol, which is associated with high levels of chronic stress. So this is how this can impact. Now another thing, we talked about cancer and things like that. I think, well, how can chiropractic be related to that? And chiropractic never claims to treat any of these problems. We don't claim to treat heart disease, prostate cancer, diabetes, cholesterol issues. What we're trying to do is get the body to get back into normal state, what we call homeostasis. So, as you say, as we're making these adjustments, it's working as a reset to move the body back to that normal kind of balanced state. And then again, it matches the environment that we're kind of living in. And again, we were talking about, as I say, with cancer, how does that affect that? You might ask. Well, when the body's under fight or flight, it pushes all the energy towards fighting something, and so we can survive that moment. So it actually down-regulates, again, how intelligent the body is. We talked about it thickens the blood. Well, it actually down-regulates other systems of the body to divert energy more towards that fight or flight system. So our digestive system, for instance, shuts off. Which is great because again there's a lot of blood in there, so it provides blood to the arms and legs so you can run or fight. But however, that's not long term. That's not good for your digestive system, and you can see how that could cause things like IBS, colitis, all these other conditions related to chronic stress and digestive problems. Now another thing it downregulates is a system of the body which uses a lot of energy, which is the immune system. So again, if you think about that, you're chronically stressed, you're releasing all this cortisol, your body's getting ready to fight or flight, it's down-regulating these other systems. So if it's down-regulating the immune system, what does the immune system do? So these white blood cells that I've heard a lot about, especially with COVID and everything that's been going on, they work to fight off bacteria, viruses and invaders into the body. What they also do is they clear up all the cancerous cells in our body as well. So we've all got cancer cells in our body all the time, but our white blood cells are like Pac-Man going around eating them all up and then keeping those to a safe, healthy level. So remember I was saying that the average tumour's been there 7 years. So you can understand if someone's been in a chronic state of stress at work, in a relationship, whatever, their body's been in this chronic adaptive state where their immune system's been lowered down. This has allowed those cancer cells to proliferate, to accumulate, and to lead to these type of chronic illnesses. So again, that's why seeing a chiropractor, getting your spine adjusted is so important. Not just how your back feels, but how the whole homeostasis ecosystem, the whole body functions, because the brain is the computer. Think of it as the computer sending messages out, constantly controlling, regulating, adapting to our environment. However, if the spine is not moving well, if your posture's not good, if you're subluxated, that's the word we use when the spine goes out of its natural position alignment, that's going to affect that system. So, and this is how it can massively impact, say, particularly on men's health, like we say, with these chronic back issues, which could affect, as I say, everything: the pelvis, bladder, prostate, colon, intestines. How it can affect cortisol levels, stress, how that impacts things like things like dopamine, serotonin, so our mood, and again how that could have links into with mental health issues, suicide. So this is what we're here for. Is chiropractic is not just to give you a quick adjustment and get you feeling better, but actually to educate you, help you understand the body better, and knowing how you can then kind of address your life and your challenges, and change things gradually, but to move it towards better long-term health. Now, a couple of things we're also doing to help men out, this month, we're doing a special offer to the end of the month. So in kind of with Father's Day coming up as well. So any dads, any men, they can come and get checked. So again, just ring up yourself, saying that you want the Father's Day offer, or if this is going out to a partner, a brother or sister, and you're thinking about a family member, you can book them in and take advantage of the offer. But basically it's a half price, so 50% off all the tests. So at the clinic we really look in detail. We talked about all those challenges of health, so how do we look at those? So we do nerve scans of the spine, we do functional tests, we measure things like blood pressure, heart rate, blood oxygen levels. We look at strength, weight distribution, we look at all those, and we also can take x-rays of the spine, so really look inside the body, and if appropriate, and see if there are areas of degeneration, subluxation, nerve pressure, which could be massively impacting the health. So we do all those tests. We then have a full picture of what's going on, and then we put a plan together to shift you back towards better health. So I always say, just get checked. You don't know what you don't know. How many people who have, real big challenges with their health, and they get into those emergency situations, and they always say, I wish I'd have done something earlier. And that's the thing, is don't wait till you get any symptoms, because most time, by the time you feel it, same with cancer, heart disease, as back problems, it's often too late, or it's quite severely down the line. So we really want to catch these things earlier. So take advantage of that. Another thing that we're doing, again, we've got a PT, Cal, here in the clinic, and he's doing half price consultations. So again, if you need some advice and help about what kind of exercise to do, what is safe to do, issues that you've got with your health, your spine, and you need some guidance, Cal can actually sit down, have a consultation, write a program that's suitable for you, and then guide you back towards fitness, rather than going to gym, doing a class, guesswork, end up getting injured, and then you kind of lose the enthusiasm then, and you so many people start the process and then they drop off it because of those challenges. So we just want you to get the most success. So yeah, doing the Father's Day offer, half price. We're doing half price consultation for your fitness, and we're here to talk and have a chat. And if you've got any questions for yourself or a loved one about men's health and chiropractic and anything I've talked about, just get in touch. Give us a call, drop us an email, and we're only too happy to help. Okay, so we look forward to seeing you soon in the clinic. And again, men, don't put things off, don't leave things, or second case, wife, get your husband booked in. So we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.